Hello. I'm going to go on in this vein that I was just in, talking about the hardship that this cold weather has brought on. Now is probably the best time to say some of this stuff. First of all, well, here, this is easy. I mentioned natural gas as heating most homes. Oil, I didn't mention it, but oil heats an awful lot of homes too, especially I think in New England. Uh, but it's a fossil fuel. It's really the same thing. The only thing is oil. It can't that I can't easily, or if it can at all, be converted almost directly into nitrogen fertilizer. Natural gas is the one that does that. But so I did want to mention that. Uh, and Oh, the other thing that I want to mention right now is just in case there are some of you, and I'm sure there's many, many of you, who think, well, this is the weather. This has nothing to do with the climate. Or no, or they put the two together. This is terrible weather. It's going to go away. Uh, but look at how cold it is. And you want me to believe that we've got global warming going on when it's this cold? It's the opposite. No, it's not. They just don't understand. It's the global warming. Weather is what happens locally and temporarily. Climate is general and slow. And this climate change, I'm not a scientist who can explain this, but I'll give it a try. As the atmosphere has warmed up, the jet stream, I believe, has slowed up. And what I do know is that when the winds circle around the globe, like the trade winds and going from east to west, they also have a circulation. There's a name for it. I can't think what it is, but the heat also goes up toward the North Pole and then comes back down. I mean, so there's those winds going on at the same time that there's the winds going acrossways. Well, those cycles have begun to go higher and deeper, and it's interrupted the I think it's called the Arctic vortex, which used to be nice and tight, a ring around the top and keep the cold up there, but now it's being broken up. And I'm sure if you look online, you can immediately come to understand this better than I understand it. But what's going on, this intense cold, is because of global warming. And there's also elsewhere going on intense heat somewhere. There almost has to be. And no doubt this will eventually pass, and then we're probably going to get a really warm spell. Probably, although this is very difficult science. But it won't pass quickly because the winds have that exchange has slowed up, and I think it's partly because there's all that distance to go up and down as well. I don't know, but if any of you think that, oh, this is proof right here, we've got the proof, there's no global warming going on. You simply are not able to understand. And for those that if you hear somebody use that argument, I don't know, you can just kind of shake your head, I guess, or say you don't understand. But what I've done before is I've said, you're confusing weather with climate. And that usually, puzzles them. I once explained to a guy, he's a Mennonite, a good guy, interesting guy, wants to learn. And this is 8 years ago, maybe. He was talking about this global warming and stuff. And I said to him, one of my ways of explaining to him is, if you put a brick on a stove, the brick will warm up, gradually from the bottom to the top. It'll get warm and it'll get hot. But nothing flows around. But if you put a pan of water on a stove and put heat to it, it doesn't just warm up like that. It starts to circulate in all kinds of new ways. And I just came up with that ad hoc. I was trying to explain it. But he seemed to understand. But we left the discussion at that. Well, as I say, I'm going to go on with this. But that was something I really needed to get out of the way. Those of you that do not see what's going on here as a result of fossil fuels, the global warming caused by carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. There's very little that can be done for you if you can't accept that. Bye for now.